So today we are gonna do a run with the hidden on Impossible. I've already won with the blade deck on Impossible, so let's do the same thing with the bleed deck. Hi RS Jackson! Don't worry, I don't mind that at all. Wait, is that correct? Let me see the run history. I have done a win with... That was indeed the blade deck, but I don't think I streamed that one. This one I streamed though. One of them I streamed. Not sure which one. Bye, Rossum! Hi, Chris, welcome. Oh, it's doing well? Glad to hear it. It really deserves doing well. It's a great game. Anyways, let's do a bleed run. We start with the draw blood. Right, deals extra damage if the target is bleeding. We have two for the throats. Our starting spell does 3 bleed. Attack action suffers 5 bleed and weak 1 instead. Yeah, let's go in. Hi Hero Sound, welcome. Ooh, 1000 cuts is definitely nice for bleed. I like oversized backpack a lot. That's just a very powerful card. And I'm kind of surprised it doesn't expel. Mithril Blades, probably not something I want. Underhanded Tactics and Quickness, we'll see about those. Let's start with Sustenance. That seems like a great defensive card in a bleed deck with some block and bleed and rebound. The Void Guardians. We have the Puppet Master, Queen of Ages, Darkcallers, and the Death Knight. Blessing of Quickstep. Each time you purge a card, block 3. Blessing of Energy. At the start of each turn, overcharge 1, increase your max energy by 1. Blessing of Rage. Each time they cast Fury, we gain 100% Rage on the following turn. Or spawn with 1 less Frenzy. Okay. Always love an upgrade point, but this is also upgrade points. 20% max HP. That might not be not be bad at all. Sadly, we can't see the card rewards. Tea Leaves is worth up to 4 upgrade points because there's a total of 4 shrines on the map. So whenever we pray for greed at shrines, we'll get an upgrade point. We need to get around 2 upgrade points, I guess, to make it worth taking. And I'm pretty sure we can fit that in. Let's go with the Tea Leaves. Ooh, a black Voidstone to start. Love seeing that. Let's take a look at the map rewards. Sleight of Hand. When you discard or expel a card, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. Expel. Interesting. Not too excited about that. In Cold Blood. Deal 5 damage, trigger target's bleed. It's a swift attack. Maybe we can include some combo in this whole thing. We already have a quickness. Duck and Weave I'm always happy about. A good defensive card. I would take these if I get them. I would take Shield Well and enough. But they're not critical. Honestly, From Shadow shouldn't be that important either. I wouldn't mind another For the Throat. Or a Scatter Shot. But these are also not that essential. So Sustenance is up there. In Cold Blood, I definitely need that. Oh, that's pretty cool. If you mouse over a room for a while, the card tooltips will appear. I think I prefer Enough over Mithril Blades. Then we can get the Duck and Weave and the In Cold Blood. There are 2 Sustenances here actually. We already have 1 in the deck anyways. What does Sustenance upgrade to? 5 block, 3 bleed. It's not the biggest upgrade, but it's still quite relevant. Oh, there are also 2 in Cold Bloods. Okay, that's spicy. That gives us a lot of potential power. We have to skip the cursed item for the first one though. Which I'm okay with, because praying at the shrine will give me extra upgrade points. We can even visit the merchant while we're at it. And then after the shrine we have to go to the Spellchild. The For the Throat is in a bad position for us. If we want to get this elite. And I think we do. Maybe go for the Lab Master and then we get the treasure. Or the upgrade. I think we might go for the treasure actually. Get both treasures. Get the In Cold Blood here and move to the Guardian. It depends a bit on how much essence we have. Maybe we want to go for the Disheveled Salesman. So we always have the option to skip this elite. Maybe. Maybe that could be our alternative path. Skip this elite and go down to this shrine. Still get the treasure. We'll see about that. Anyway, let's adapt our deck. I want 1,000 cuts in, because that's a lot of bleed. I don't want the quickness in yet, I don't think. Although, no, having some combo is fine. I definitely want the oversized backpack and the sustenance in. I don't think I want the underhanded tactics in yet. I'm gonna cut a parry, actually 2 parries. A draw blood. And another parry. Let's go aggressive early on. What do we do with this Black Void Stone? Are there any cards in here that we know we are gonna keep forever? Honestly, with the way this path is shaping out, I'm almost certainly gonna keep a quickness around forever. And the quickness with the Black Void Stone is just solid. It's just great. Awesome combo generation. We can also visit the empty field here to upgrade our relic. Yeah, these guys should usually be no problem at all. I think we want to apply some bleed here. I'm gonna get some combo and just hit this guy for 15. And the next turn we kill both the Throat Cutter and the Dark Acolyte. 3 bleed or 5 bleed and 1 weak. 5 bleed and 1 weak will kill the attacking ones. I'm gonna use the spell. It's 3 turns cooldown. Yeah, that should be fine. It will be ready in time for the next fight, I think. 16 damage is actually quite a lot on the first turn. We might have to go for the kill here. I mean, not that that's a bad thing at all. Let's play the backpack. That gives us enough cards to purge. to kill everyone here. We get an upgrade point. I think that just goes on the backpack right now. That's just great. Extra energy. And draw. Like, it pays for itself. It draws us 3 cards. And we can purge some of these cards if we need to. I'm gonna cut the parry for the enough. Enough is a very solid block card. We go to an empty field here to upgrade the sneak artist. Every time you travel to an empty tile, take this value up by 1. At the start of each fight, the first enemy you target with an attack card will suffer vulnerable X, where X is equal to this value. So now we apply vulnerable 2 instead of 1. Makes that card a little bit better, that relic. I think we want to focus down the Hell Mongrel here. Howl. 8 damage incoming. Gonna purge the enough. That means the Hell Mongrel already dies. So let's focus on the puppy next. They will still attack me before they bleed out though. From Shadow is a great way of defending here. I do want to get rid of the puppy this turn. I'm gonna purge the quickness so I can prevent them from attacking, so I don't have to block as much. And next turn we finish off the Cinderhound. We gain the Black Void Stone. That's 8 and 8, that's not quite enough. Now it is. Duck and Weave, another solid block card. That's much better than a simple parry. Another Black Void Stone. We can put that on oversized backpack obviously, because we can no longer draw cards after we play one, so the second one would be useless. Not sure what to put that on right now. Then we get in Cold Blood. Against the Sisters. Our deck is currently tuned quite aggressively, so we should most likely be fine. Let's start with our spell. We don't need a lot of block next turn, so I think we can go pretty aggressive here. Kill the first sister on turn 1. Duck and Weave is good. These enemies don't have bleeding on them yet, so our damage is relatively limited. I wanna drop a draw blood here. Remove some burning. Start dealing some damage to the next one. Maybe I should have purged more to reduce the burning instead. Sustenance is our only defense this turn, which means we can't fully defend. I think I want to double play Sustenance. Then double play Quickness. Yeah. Get that combo. They are bleeding. So this is a lot of damage. Purge against the burn. And then finish the fight this turn, maybe? Yeah, with the backpack that might easily be possible. We did draw an attack, so that's nice. We need more than one hit against you. I think we have to defend in that case. That isn't quite enough, right? And now we kill the final sister, hopefully. She's already bleeding. There we go. Get the in cold blood. I think we want to add that into the deck instead of a draw blood. Then this is our only option. Anyways. Corrupted Ogre. They constantly regenerate and they also grow quite powerful over time. So we might have to be aggressive here. Definitely use our spell early. And apply a lot of bleeding early as well. Purge that so I have maximum energy next turn. That might be the better plan. There are a few things that I can imagine could happen here that would be great to have maximum energy for. Enough being one of them. And we purge to get to 5 energy again, because we gain 1 extra from the overcharge. And we should get the kill here. There we go. Sustenance. I am gonna add that in instead of a parry again. It's a little lower on block, but... Green Voidstone. It might be good to put on a bleed card, just to get that out early. Or on the oversized backpack. Not entirely sure yet. What does In Cold Blood upgrade to? Oh right, slay, transfer their bleed. So if we kill an enemy with this, the bleed will get transferred to a random target, I assume. Which upgrades are important now? Sustenance. Quickness is definitely the next. Quickness does need something like that. These will get stronger when we inflict them with debuffs. These enemies are tough for this deck. Because we inflict debuffs a lot. Vulnerable and bleed are debuffs. I'm not quite sure how to approach that fight. I think we have to focus down one after another. Focus on the attacking ones. This hand is trash. A frenzy on this one doesn't matter right now. So I am gonna focus on that one with the bleed. And he's most likely gonna be attacking next turn. Creature will get +1 frenzy the first time it suffers any debuff in a turn. Oh, okay. So as long as we focus on one, we won't get that one's frenzy crazy high at least. Play a backpack. That kills that one off. But that one is not attacking this turn. We can just let it bleed out then, I guess. Let's defend. Maybe I can kill these two at the same time. What's left in the deck? No defense at all. Oh, okay. That's 8 damage. Let's make that 24. And then we kill those two next turn. Well, it's certainly gonna take damage this turn. I mean, we can only block for 8 if we draw perfectly. But at least we should be able to finish them off. The respawn comes at the end of turn, so it shouldn't happen. We'll see. Ouch. Yeah, we just need to kill now. Then all that damage means nothing. Oh, this is only 24. What did I just purge? 1000 cards. That wasn't gonna help me. Yeah, we only have 24 here. We can't kill this turn. Oh, that sucks. So much damage, but I knew these guys were gonna be a pain. Well, I hope we can kill them now. And indeed we can. These guys are a pain for the bleed deck. Let's take a look at the merchant's offer. Opening move, shield wall, battle plan, backpedal, all unupgraded is what we can afford. Recharge is pretty neat, but we can't afford it. Opening move, interesting, but probably not so much for this deck. I think I'm just gonna skip, save my essence. Definitely pray for greed and get an upgrade point, which we use to upgrade the quickness. Spellchild has Lamba Spread and Sunder. I don't think we want any of them. Yeah, it's not necessary. We miss out on a go for the throat, but yeah, there's no other good solution here. We have to skip that go for the throat. Ooh, Treasure Goblin. Let's go aggressive then. This enemy can't attack at all. And our goal is just to kill them before they flee. So even a bad attack is better than a defensive card. Cower in Fear, they gain Fortitude. Also this one has a lot of health. 120. And we gain 5 essence for each point of damage we deal to them, so that's gonna be a lot of essence. Set up the bleed and then go for damage. Bleed ignores Fortitude as far as I'm aware. We did draw an attack, we drew in cold blood even. And they'll die to bleed. That was great. We gained a lot of essence. Now I really want to go to the disheveled salesman. That means keeping this treasure. Well, there's a merchant on the bottom, and purchasing some upgraded rares or something can also be very useful. So I'm still not sure. What I am sure is that we want to fight this elite. Skeleton mage. Yeah, now we need to go back to being a bit more defensive here, because that enemy grows stronger every time we take damage. Do I want even more defense? Yeah, I think I want one more block card. And then we go in. Let's see what the relics are. Oh, flame shield. Keg of lucky rum. After each combat you will always find a potion. That's actually really good as well, this early on. Wizard's Hat, if you end your turn with 0 energy, gain overcharge, and flame shield. At the start of your turn, tick this value up by 1 and block X, where X is equal to the count on this item. Resets after each fight. Love the flame shield. That works quite well with our bleed, I think, because we have good scaling thanks to our bleed, so if the fight goes longer, we benefit from that. Let's play that just to apply the bleed, and then... So they have corrupted visions. This creature will also increase its frenzy by 1 each time you lose HP. I'm gonna purge the... sustenance now. So we can do some damage. Incoming is 6. This will weaken them, however. So incoming is 4. A simple parry will do that for us. Let's backpack. I want to apply more bleed this turn. Definitely playing for the throat. We don't need to defend here. Applying more bleed is more important to me than playing the draw bloods. Even if it's a low amount of bleed. Yes, because I think our finisher will be a combo deal in cold blood, perhaps. Very likely. Double playing the sustenance is more efficient though. Yeah, playing sustenance then purging it pays. It pays for the cost we spent on the sustenance, but if we purge the sustenance without playing it, we even gain an energy from that, so... Yeah, I want maximum bleed here. Maybe I should have kept the sustenance, but we still have a couple defensive cards in hand in the deck, so... although here we only have the enough. It's just 1 damage, but 1 damage matters against the skeleton mage. I would love to keep the enough for next turn, but I don't want to give them 1 frenzy. I would love to play the 1000 cuts, but I think I'm just gonna set up the quickness here. This turn will be difficult to block completely. Never mind. And we keep the in cold blood in hand. Try to play that with combo. Sustenance. let's start with the spell. I think I want to play enough next turn. Unless I can kill. Maybe we should set up the kill. This is gonna be 108 damage by itself. And no reason to just go for the kill. The enough fully defends us and we can just keep the bleed going. Although I'm almost certain we do have lethal here. We have to play the in cold blood first. So that's gonna be 111. We are almost there, but we are a little bit short. This ends the fight, though, because the skeleton mage is gonna die to the bleed. We still had to defend because the bleed happens after we take damage. But yeah, perfecting an elite fight is always a nice chunk of essence, like the health potion. Gives us the ability to heal back up. And sleight of hand is currently pretty weak. We only have the duck and weave that discards a card. Oh, this yellow void stone belongs in a sustenance. That does make a lot of sense to me. Voidmaw. Get stronger as I purge cards. Sure. $17 incoming. Start with the backpack. Like the enough there. It will be good defense next turn. In fact, it will completely defend us. Is bleed 2 better than 8 damage? Yeah. And then we go up to 3 cards. We just gave them, yeah, for every 3 cards we purge, they gain +2 attack. But the enough is still enough to defend us. We could also go sustenance, duck and weave. That would be cheaper. Not really, because this gives us an overcharge. And this is 2 cards. But if I play the sustenance anyways? Am I gonna play the sustenance anyways? Also, double sustenance doesn't defend us, right? We need double sustenance and parry or something. Might as well go with that then. No damage incoming next turn, so I guess we can just go purge some cards and make the enemy even stronger. But we have a nice amount of bleed on them now. I'm gonna bleed them some more and weaken them. We'll have quickness in cold blood next turn. But they will no longer be vulnerable. That's still enough to get the kill. There we go. Concentrate. That might actually be a card I include in this deck. But not yet. Upgrade the sustenance with the void stone in it. That's quite solid. Potions. We have a lot of money, so we could afford some potions. Okay, if we go top path, we gain upgrade and artifact shop for the throat. Happy to see that from Shadow. Not bad either. And if we go bottom path, we get the treasure, a merchant, and a in cold blood. I want the second in cold blood, so do I? Yeah, it's still quite good. So I'm gonna go with the bottom path, which means I want to have some essence for the merchant. But just because the draw potion is so powerful, I'm gonna buy that one. I think draw potion is the most powerful one. I probably don't want to use it against the guardian, but no upgrade points here. Deal 6 damage. If the target isn't attacking, deal another 12. No. Something extra. All Swift attack cards played will also apply bleed 1. In theory, that works decently well with something like this, but it's just not that much extra bleed. And we are gonna move away slightly from attacks and focus more on abilities, perhaps? Well, I can't even say that for certain. I am certainly not gonna put a second concentrate in the deck. I think if we put it in, then it will be just one. And surprise attack isn't exciting enough for me. So I'm gonna go with something extra, because that might actually see play. Merchant. Aggressive attack. That's a very good attack card. Wouldn't mind having another quickness. Natural 20 is also not bad. Rage doesn't work with bleed. So if anything, it would be an upgraded aggressive attack, or an upgraded natural 20 and an upgraded quickness. That's 4 vulnerable to all enemies. That solves our problem with vulnerable forever. Aggressive attack is good damage. That's actually really solid damage. And we recur a random attack, which we can use, or we can purge it. If we purge it, if we assume we are always gonna purge it, which is the worst case scenario, that's a 2-cost attack that deals 25 damage and applies vulnerable 2. That's good, but it's not broken good or anything. Is that worth 1.8k essence? Quickness allows us to more often use in cold blood. And there are quite a few cards that I would be interested in taking in a deck like this. I think I'm gonna go with the 2 commons here, even though the upgraded aggressive attack is very tempting. The underhanded tactics wouldn't be terrible, but I think I won't be using that for long. So let's add these cards in, natural 20 and quickness. We remove a draw blood and another one. No, I think it's time to cut down on 1 parry here. I am also gonna Black Voidstone the other quickness. That's just great combo generation. Do we now have a card that we want in our opening hand? Maybe natural 20? Not certain on that yet. Let's pray for Grief for another upgrade point. I think I want some better application of bleed. That's a bleed for 1 energy and 1 card. Let's call that 2 cost. Because we can always purge a card to gain the energy. So this basically costs us 2 cards. This basically costs us 3 cards for 13 bleed. And 3 cards for 13 bleed is more efficient. But that's obviously generalizing it. Because after all, we also have natural energy generation that we want to spend somehow. And that makes 1000 cuts still a more efficient card. Are we worried about our offense though? I think we should be more worried about our defense. And in terms of defense, From Shadow is a great upgrade. Not only gaining 4 block, but also gaining 2 bleed. That's gonna be my next one. Let's go for the treasure. I don't mind another From Shadow. We'll gladly add that in. I am gonna cut another parry for that. And it's definitely something I also want to upgrade eventually. The Corpse Beast, this one will scale pretty fast. They will gain attack every single turn. So we should probably be somewhat aggressive against them. Small block cards, not that great. If anything, we want large blocks that can prevent big hits, and maybe underhanded tactics for some extra weak. That should be all we need to change here. We already have our spell for weak as well. Each time you cast your spell, apply vulnerable 2 to a random enemy. I think we'll solve vulnerable in a different way. Crystal Lake, Hand Me Down, every third heavy card played will cost 0. We decided against the aggressive attack, which would have been a good heavy card to use for that, but it would also have been our only one. Purifier Diadem, the second card you purge each turn, causes all debuff suffer to be reduced by 1. It doesn't seem that exciting, but it might be better for us than the Barbed Wand. With our starting relic and the natural 20 in our deck, I think we have vulnerable pretty well covered. Let's go for the Purifier Diadem. I've gotten that offered a lot and I have never taken it so far. Let's do a backpack. What's left in the deck in terms of defense? Not a whole lot. I think I have to keep the enough in hand. Start with a For the Throat. Let's keep the vulnerable up. That just doesn't matter as much as the extra bleed here. Let's weaken them this turn. That's 9 block twice, potentially. We still have a From Shadow. 20 incoming. With 9 and the From Shadow we can defend if we draw it. Otherwise... Well, anyways, I'm gonna keep this Sustenance in hand because we also have the Flame Shield, so the Sustenance will actually be enough to block here. Will inflict 2 days. That's actually a nice change of pace. That means I can't just double play the Sustenance here. I'm not gonna need that. Definitely set up the combo. And then play the... play the From Shadow. We don't need to block next turn. And having the extra bleed on the enemy means our In Cold Blood is just so much more potent. Play another Quickness and then let's go ham. There we go. Another perfect elite. And another in cold blood for our deck. That card is just so much better than draw blood. And it does a very similar thing. Next up is the priest. This is a scary boss. Whenever we draw cards, we take damage. Does that mean we want to remove the oversized backpack? It might mean that. It might mean that we don't want the backpack here. Instead, add another parry. Definitely cut the underhanded tactics though. That's not gonna be great. We don't need weakness against that one. Your least favorite floor 1 boss? I do like the design around it, but they can be quite punishing. We don't really wanna do AoE damage, because killing the crows doesn't accomplish a whole lot. And with just a scattershot alone, we don't have group. Well, scattershot and sustenance, I guess, will sometimes hit them as well. Sure, let's add another parry. And on we go against the Disciples of Strong. It's only 3 bleed and no weakness, but I want to get the bleed stacked. And the design is great, but I really enjoy drawing cards. Yeah, so do I. So do I. I think right now the most important thing is getting the bleed stacked more so than triggering it. The enough will defend us easily for a turn. Funnily enough, keeping the enough in hand means we don't have to block for as much. And even a sustenance will cover us. Well, the upgraded one will. I'm still gonna keep this enough in hand, I think. I'm gonna defend with the sustenance here. Double play the quickness. And the enough will be most of my defense next turn. I don't want to spam my combo on that card, but we still have For the Throat and In Cold Blood in the deck, which are great to spend the combo on. We might take some damage here. 28, that's hard to defend against. That's actually doable. Sustenance, sustenance. Hit the crows again. And then a duck and weave will do it. I'm gonna keep the In Cold Blood in hand. With the natural 20 next turn. Vulnerability. Plus combo play. That might just be enough to get the kill. If we draw another quickness, it definitely will be. That's gonna be enough. There we go. We get Let's Pray and a nice bunch of essence and souls. Upgrade points or void stones? That's the question. We are pretty well on our way in terms of upgrade, but I do want some more defensive upgrade. If I get the upgrade points, it will be from Shadow and Sustenance. Because defense is important in Bleed deck. And I'm gonna go with that. These are great cards. What's available on this floor? Aggressive attack all alone, deal 12 damage, solo trigger +2. This turn your threat stack won't trigger. Purge delay block 3, hide. Upgrades to purge for delay block 6. Your threat stack won't trigger, but it will still do... It will still accumulate, it will still... That's interesting. That's interesting. How to evaluate. Having some slow is nice, but that might be a bit too expensive. Remove all bleed from the target, gain that much block, and we can trigger it before that. I don't think so. But it might be okay. Charger block might be okay as well. Sanguine Shell, I definitely want that. Large block that triggers all bleed and blocks on purge is very nice. Other than that, bite would be okay. We don't necessarily need it, but it's decent. Huh. Sanguine Shell is up here. That already gives us a direction to go in. Maybe look at the cursed item, go down to the crippling blow, get that upgrade. Get a charge block, and then we have to decide between Shrine or Elite. Move on to that treasure. And then if we went for the Elite... this base will actually be blocked off. So we have to go on the top route, which means that we are likely gonna skip the Elite. Get the Shrine, get the Mime, Treasure, Elite. And then probably the Merchant over the Shield Wall. And the other option would be something like this, perhaps? Most likely gonna go with the green path, but if I feel for some reason that I want the red path here, we're gonna go with that instead. But the start is definitely gonna be in that direction. Also, I need a really short break. We'll be back in just a few seconds. A minute or so. Be right back. I am back. Sorry for the delay. Dragon Mother. Do we want to change our spell? Probably not. Limits the amount of block that can be gained from any individual source. We actually have a problem with that. Especially with cards like Enough in the deck. Sustenance helps a lot. I like the idea of having a purple Void Stone on the other Sustenance, to be honest. Yes, I will do that. We want our backpack back. We might have to be a bit more aggressive here. Do I want cards like from Shadow in the deck? I think the limit is 6 block from a single effect. So 5 bleed, 6 block versus 5 block. Yeah, that's worth it. That's absolutely worth it. Duck and Weave is also better than a parry, obviously, even with the limitation. I'm gonna cut 2 Draw Bloods and add Underhanded Strikes instead. Because I feel like weakness is gonna be key in avoiding some of the damage here. They'll attack for 16. Can reduce that to 12. Any block played is capped at a maximum of 6. So we can defend with just 2 block cards. Do I want the From Shadow in hand? Probably not. Glad to have the Sustenance. I will also use my spell for the extra weakness and bleed. For the throat. The question here is, do I quicken for the throat or in cold blood? I think it's already in cold blood. That's a lot of damage. Even now. Yep. That was definitely the right choice. Another something extra that we are not gonna use. A Malformed. Enough comes back in. Parry goes back out. Breast stays the same, although Scattershot is actually okay here. I'm gonna drop the underhanded tactics again. I'll keep one in, I guess. Sure. $30 damage incoming. Uh-oh. This is definitely a for the throat. Do we just focus down the Exalted Warrior first? It's 31 damage. That's just worth it. And then get back some energy. The gut theme might blow up on us, but if we kill the Exalted Warrior first, that's not that bad. Happy to have the backpack here. We did draw an attack, good. This is not a swift attack. Gonna go with the natural 20 here, purge the scatter shot, set up the quick. Issue orders. All creatures gain +1 frenzy. Except for him, because he can never gain frenzy. That's not a lot of defense. This guy's gonna self-destruct. I could probably prevent it with 1000 cuts in cold blood. But I think I'm gonna focus down the Exalted Warrior instead. Do we even need the combo? We don't. We kinda need it. We could also use the underhanded tactics instead. We could also use the underhanded tactics instead. That should work. That means we go for the throat on the Flesh Beast. And then in cold blood, underhanded tactics will kill the leader. And we'll take 14 here. This guy will self-destruct, and then we just need to finish off the Flesh Beast. They are gonna die from the bleed. And we get an upgrade point. That goes on Sanguine Shell immediately. Because I want a Purge game block. And it's actually very handy. It removes another parry. Let's see what's in store for us here. Each time you will cast your spell, tick this item up by 1. When it reaches 3, your spell's cooldown will be reset. I think I want to destroy the item. I don't think it's worth taking a void for 3 fights, then removing it at the shrine, missing out on an upgrade point and some essence and souls. Missing out on these 3 souls as well. What are we gonna do with those souls? It's not like we can easily visit the soul collector if we go for the green path. We can spend some of them at the mime. But I guess most of them will... Okay, so the souls are not worth that much to us right now. It makes it a bit easier to take the item. The stew is not bad. I'm gonna take it. I think that's fine. The Berserker and friends? I think we're okay against them. I think I want to upgrade an in cold blood next, yeah. I think so. Deafening Shout, Cripple 1 and Taunt 2. Sure. That's good. Let's play the backpack. Didn't draw an attack. Sustenance has us covered in terms of defense. Do I wanna spread some bleed out across the board? It's not bad. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Do I purge the sustenance? Only 6 damage incoming. We have from Shadow enough sustenance and Sanguine Shell left in terms of defense. Sure. Any of these will be enough because we also have the Flame Shield. We are hexed now. At the end of his turn will reduce Frenzy to 2 and gain AP equal to Frenzy lost. Sure, you can gain some AP. I do want these quicknesses active. I think we have to play the Sanguine Shell this turn. Because this Berserker is gonna deal a lot of damage to us otherwise. Yes. I'm gonna keep the sustenance in hand. That's enough to completely defend me. Should be worth. Do wanna use my spell to set up the stew, if nothing else. Great, we drew into an attack. Definitely scatter shot. I think the rune pillar should be my next target. Uh, 9 bleed. It's not quite enough. Sure, let's spend the quickness and the draw blood on damage against the runic pillar so it dies after this attack. That's all I need, honestly. Oh right, it takes half damage from bleed. I forgot about that. Well, that's annoying. Double quickness and then go for the throat on this one. I'll still keep the sustenance around. There's not a whole lot of defense left in my deck after all. We are hexed this turn. Does this still expel if I play it as my first card when hexed? Probably not. I can purge 2 cards first, I will remove the hex. Probably should do that. In cold blood against the midliner. We don't need the sustenance now. We have block guaranteed next turn. And they are not attacking anyway, so... yeah, they will just slowly die to the bleed, so... there we go. Perfect victory again. Crippling blow. The slow is tempting. Seven damage and 6 bleed is actually a significant upgrade for the scatter shot. It's kind of tempting. But I think for multi-target fights, this one is gonna be more important. Keeping the bleed stack around is gonna make a big difference. We were fine against them before, I think we'll be fine against them again. They start with quick strike, that's not very nice. I'm gonna get rid of the void. You know what? I'm just gonna stack the bleed on this berserker. Early. Another quick strike. Eeks. That's scary. Do we need... Well, 27 incoming. We better keep the enough. The berserker has now enough bleed that we can just kill them with in cold blood. But they're both in our discard right now. There is only one attack left in the deck. But I mean, we can just purge these cards if we need energy, right? Especially cards with purge effects are well suited for that. I think going for the Rune Priest is much easier than for the Pillar. Actually, the Pillar is much more dangerous though. $36 incoming and we have not a whole lot of defense left. I'm gonna keep not only the enough but also the sustenance. And that means I have to purge the natural 20 just to get the energy. Otherwise... this is gonna be a bad turn. Another quick strike. Not happy to see that. Gonna weaken you. $18 incoming this time. This sustenance will fully defend us. I should keep it in hand. Means I'm gonna play the other one. If I play the quickness though, I think I have to skip on the quickness this turn. Let the bleed do its job and kill the berserker. Yeah, Sanguine Shell is good. It's gonna be my defense probably. Not just defense, of course. Also good damage. Too bad this is the non-upgraded one. I want everyone here to bleed. And... you inscribe wards? I don't care about those wards. Oh right, you died to that anyways. It does some upfront damage as well, after all. Hex again. Incoming 21. There is the in cold blood. And the quickness. Stone is going down in 2 turns. Not from the bleed alone, but... It's backpack. Great, we drew an attack. And we have the defense we need. Do want to get that stone this turn. That does it. And then I'm just gonna go for maximum bleed on the Rune Priest. So we can finish them off as soon as we get our hands on a cold blood. There we go. Smash, not interested in that at all. Definitely getting the charge block here. I think we'll be fine against the court. I think our primary target is gonna be the champion. This is an awkward hand. I think I'm gonna purge the void. Start focusing on the champion with some bleed already. The king is gonna get stronger. Yeah, let's double up on the spell. I'm gonna keep the From Shadow. It's gonna be a good call next turn. No! Backpack! At least it's not expelled. It's just in the discard. This one, and then double sustenance, I suppose. Let's make them all vulnerable. It's gonna make things a bit easier. No, that would have been a great draw. Although I would prefer the upgraded one, of course. I didn't get it. Champion is casting Fury this turn. If we want them to die to their bleed, we need a bit more than that. $27 times 2 is gonna be enough. So let's focus on the courtesan next. Definitely duck and weave, drop the... one of the quicknesses maybe? Yeah. We don't need 2 next turn. Just prevent some incoming damage that way. Not sure if that was a smart move, ending with 0 energy, but we do have overcharge at least. Okay, king is not attacking. Ah, we're 1 block short. I do want to kill the courtesan this turn. That will be 20. If we quickness that up, there will be the kill on the courtesan. And we managed to move the bleed to the target we actually care about. Just gonna use the spell to get the stew ready. The stew is actually a bit better than I first thought. Because it's not every 3rd time you cast your spell, you can cast it twice in a row. It's every 2nd time, because the 2nd cast already counts for the stew. Take one here, we just lose our perfect bonus. And then... that wasn't well handled. I don't need to take damage here, I can just play the enough. Backpack is great. There we go. The charger block. If we have overcharge, we gain energy and overcharge. Grades to become block 15. That's a sizable block for a 2-cost card. And we are sometimes overcharged. I kind of want to include that in my deck. And I will. We get a bit more defensive that way. That's fine with me. I think our defense is now pretty much set. We now should focus on getting more bleed on the targets. Yeah, I still think I wanna skip that elite. And pray for cleansing to get the void out. Scent of blood, gain 1 energy for each bleeding enemy. That's not bad. Probe, search a deck for a card and add it to your hand. Can be nice. Do-over is also a nice attack. Recur 1 random with non-weakness. It's swift, so we can double it up with the combo. Scent of Blood blocks for 6 on upgrade. That's huge. That's actually very, very good. I will take it. The most likely block card to remove from our deck would be Duck and Weave, I think. The Taxidermist. Don't think we want underhanded tactics against them. Send in Scent of Blood. There are multiple targets and we now have the Scatter Shot to actually get bleed on multiple targets. Just want the weakness for sure. Where does the other one go? I don't want to hold any cards in hand. This goes on the Taxidermist. Because these guys attack, gain Frenzy for each card in your hand. So you definitely don't want to be holding too many cards against them. Well, everyone's bleeding, so this brings me up to maximum energy, then natural 20 for some vulnerability. There's another quickness in the deck. That was a good turn. Hopefully we can finish the Taxidermist soon. It's 106. I need a bit more than that. 159. That will do. Now this guy's heavily bleeding. Duck and weave will be enough to defend us. The in cold blood will be the kill on the rightmost. On the right unholy creation. Alright, they also gain frenzy when the taxidermist dies. That's something that was changed about them recently and that I still haven't fully grasped yet. Oh! That was the wrong one. That one doesn't transfer bleeds. But it's fine. They're not attacking this turn. We can probably finish them next turn. And we can almost certainly finish them in 2 turns. There we go. Surprise attack, not interested in that. Swift hand. This turn all swift attack cards trigger +1 time. Expel. Draw 1. Is 1000 cuts a consideration for the green void stone to always have a decent... Yeah, I think that might be a consideration. Blade Storm. Can we fit another From Shadow in this deck? I mean, you can replace enough, that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad indeed. Upgraded From Shadow, I like the idea. What else can we do with our essence? We can get more cards here. Upgrade a Blade Storm. That's not even that great. Riposte is an attack. Why does that matter? We can't quickness it. It matters for the backpack, I guess. Don't think we want Apprentice's Blade. Volatile Smash. Gain 3 Volatile Smash. Expel. Oh, right. Smash. The 2 cost attack. Heavy. That gives us Rage. No. Definitely not. I'll take that card. And I'll take an upgraded Blade Storm as well. The enough goes out. The From Shadow goes in. And I think the final drop luck goes out, the Blade Storm goes in. We also have a blue Void Stone now. I want that on... Not an oversized backpack, that wouldn't accomplish anything. I guess on a From Shadow. Green Void Stone could go on 1000 cuts. It could also go on Blade Storm, I guess. Although in some fights that's just gonna be a go for the throat. But in some fights it will also activate the Scent of Blood. So let's see what we're up against here. Yeah, I think that's a good enough plan to put that on the Blade Storm. So we have bleed on all enemies guaranteed on turn 1. There's a lot of damage incoming. I think once again we want to focus on the chosen champion. This gives them vulnerable and we keep the From Shadow in hand because it's almost half the block we need next turn. It will also cost us most of the energy we have, but I'm sure that will be fine. Could thing we have bleeding on everyone. Quickness. Double quickness in cold blood. On this guy. Would be the kill. 34 plus 33. 77. That means I can play the other From Shadow. If I... I think I'm gonna do the From Shadow here. And then I guess I'll purge this in cold blood. Is the other one still in the deck? It isn't. No, in that case I'm gonna purge the quickness to play the cold blood, so the champion dies this turn. We take 3. Now we have a respawn of a courtesan or a spirit. Or a champion. Okay, I didn't know the champion can respawn. That's kind of awkward. I think we might have to focus on the king next before they grow out of control. Can full block here. Next hand is pretty strong, and if we have overcharge it will be even better. No, my backpack! That makes it significantly less powerful. $43 incoming, yeah. Let's weaken you. 37 is still bad, but less bad than before. Oh, we can also weaken the king as well. I'm gonna keep the sustenance in hand. That's 16 block. That's a lot of block. 25 incoming next turn. We do have a bit more block in the deck, but not that much. I think we have to defend here. I'm glad I have all this overcharge. It really helps me with my energy management right now. That was pretty good. The courtesan will die. The king will die. And we kill the champion ourselves with one of the 2 cold bloods that are left in the deck. That should work out. Wait, the courtesan healed. I forgot about that. It doesn't matter. Whew. Another defensive card. Okay, that's just too good of a card. I would would love to go to the soul collector with 45 souls. But isn't this top path just stronger? With the upgrade here, the upgrade there, the dupe. Yeah, it's simply the better path. Council. I think they are not too bad for us. But we'll see. Backpack. Into Bladestorm, Scent of Blood. They have a lot of health. I can easily keep it from Shadow here, and I like the idea of doing that. One of my sustenance is gone now. If I want a full block, I have to play both from Shadows. Not necessarily. I do have to. I want to play the scatter shot as well. We are pretty low on energy next turn, but we can probably do a decent amount of damage. We can probably kill the left one. Not right now, no. Don't have overcharge, and in fact it will be pretty hard to generate it. Apply the vulnerability. That's a kill. We don't have any defense in hand. That sucks. I want to kill this one as well. That needs to be... No, it doesn't have to be. It can be a Bladestorm. Bladestorm also hits the other target, so it's just straight up better. I should weaken that guy. Ouch. Luckily we still have a health potion. Just one. But one should be good enough. Rage Morning. I'm gonna keep the From Shadow in hand. That will defend us next turn, and then we have the kill through bleeding right afterwards. An upgrade point. I think it's time to upgrade these bleed cards, finally. We are a bit slow. That makes a big difference. Let's move on to the shrine. Yeah, it has to be greed. I don't hate the idea of upgrading Scattershot. Who are Guardians again? Queen of Ages, probably not with a bleed deck. Star Council? We might go for that. Death Knight, Puppet Master, probably what we do. Puppet Master and Star Council is an AoE fight, so the scatter shot is decent in that fight. Is there anything else we want to include instead? I don't hate the crippling blow. Really, I think that would be quite good. But the cost is so high. We already have a relatively high cost deck. For the throat. We did already upgrade the 1000 cuts, yes we did. Yeah, it's scatter shot. What do we dupe here? A second oversized backpack wouldn't be bad. As long as we don't have them in the same hand, they are really, really good. If we have them in the same hand, I guess that's acceptable. Slightly unfortunate. 7 souls. Fine. It's a small risk that we have them in the same hand. A risk I'm willing to take. Oops. What do we cut now? Probably the duck and weave. I think we're a bit overly defensive, especially with the scent of blood also providing us with extra defense. Ooh, 2 upgrade points. Another scatter shot. When you play a swift card, inflict. No. The only thing here we could be playing is the scatter shot. Sure, let's upgrade the for the throat as well. Beast of Malice. That's somewhat dangerous with the bleed deck, because we're always gonna trigger its extra damage. Third card you purchase each turn increases your causes you to gain 2 energy instead of 1. I like the idea of that. Battle plan is pretty much useless to us because we don't really benefit from rage, and discard our keys. They are okay, but I think the pickled hand is overall better for us. Let's set up the bleed. We should have removed the blade storm, maybe. Maybe we want to keep the bleed purposely at 20. It triggers on 25, yes. Oh, we have vulnerable, never mind. Do I keep the From Shadow? I definitely play the quickness. But do I keep the From Shadow? No. We have enough defensive cards that I should find one. This fight is very scary. This fight is very, very scary for me. That's a lot of damage at least. Maybe we can just finish it quickly. To keep the sustenance in hand now. Yeah. Safer that way. Although purging it would have triggered the pickled hand. I'm glad I didn't purge it. No attack. This is free block. This is a free block as well. Alright, we can't draw after. That's fine, we have these stasis. And we purchase for 2 energy now. And then we kill next turn. Hopefully. No quickness. $72. We're almost there. There we go. Aggressive attack. I don't think I want that anymore. Shield wall and this. We still have 2k essence. Defensive attack. Block 10, delay block 10. Not really. Bleed it out. Upgrade a bleed it out. Yeah. Definitely. We still have an upgrader for the throat in the deck. We could replace it with an upgrader for the throat or with an upgraded 1000 cuts. I think I like having a couple of attacks in the deck still. I think I'm gonna go with the upgraded 1000 for the throat actually. Just bought an upgrade basically. Too bad we don't have a lot of attack cards. The counter is not gonna be very good in this deck. But it's an awesome card that I want to play with. I'm also gonna buy the 1000 cuts. We sideboard that instead of the AoE cards. Cripple, apply weak 2. Boiled blood, suffer... No. Apply weak 2. This already applies weak? But with the Stew of Bad Memories, we can keep weak up all the time with that. Do we have any other ways to apply weak? No, we don't. That's interesting. The small amount of bleed from the backstab matters less than the extra weakness here. I'm gonna purchase the cripple. Birth Pit. We don't have that many attack cards. Generally, the second floor boss becomes a lot easier if you don't have that many attack cards. Because a lot of them do care about attack cards. Do we even want to AoE them? Yeah, we want the AoE. It's good if they die eventually. It's only if we target them with attack cards as well. Maybe we sub in another scatter shot instead of the For the Throat. That's not the worst idea. And let's get the cripple spell. Let them bleed. $28 incoming. I'm gonna gain the overcharge here. That didn't really matter at all. That's a lot of incoming damage. I'm gonna start weakening you. Just so that we can ignore you more easily. Maybe I should have weakened both instead. Yeah, that would have been a better idea. Backpack, that's nice. Let's scattershot them. We also definitely want the From Shadow to go out this turn. Alright, I've played a backpack already. I forgot about that. That's not great. Fine, I'll drop that. I want to defend. Each attack card played against this creature. Oh, it's not if you target them. Whoops. No attack left, so the chance that we draw one is pretty low. Let's gain the energy and then let's try to defend as best we can. Yeah, I mean, we got the full defend. But can we get it again? It's not gonna be enough defense here. I should have used the healing potion before this fight. Uh-oh. We might be okay though. Looks like we will be okay. We did draw into an attack, and not just any old attack, we drew into Cold Blood. There we go. Blow them up. We don't need upgrade points, but we do need void stones. 52 souls. We blast almost half the HP of the void with that. We oftentimes multiplay the in Cold Blood, which makes it interesting for us to socket in a yellow void stone. Yeah, we got a lot of upgrade points. I'm gonna switch in the For the Throat for the Starcallers. I'm gonna put a Bleed It Out in my opening hand. It's just the best perch. And then this goes on one of the In Cold Bloods, I think. Because we multicast them when we play them. Although we don't play them that often, and oftentimes when we play them, they end our fight. I'm gonna bring the Exploding Bottle against the Starcallers. because there are multiple targets after all. Retaliate, we don't want rage. I think cripple is still the best spell. Let's also make them all vulnerable, and let's get quick. Keep the From Shadow. Oh! Keep the From Shadow against those. Whoops. I forgot about their ability to automatically discard our hand at the end of turn. Haunted. Start with the backpack. Scatter shot seems reasonable. We don't have to get them all down at the same time. Not at all. Let's weaken those. I'm just gonna purge the charge block. Yeah. I do want this soul stone to trigger, the void stone. Actually this one might be more important. 5 and 9 is 14. That will do. Reducing these effects by 1. I'm gonna play the In Cold Blood as well. It's not a ton of damage yet, but it does add up. We have 2 From Shadows in the deck. I'm fine with purging. Play a backpack. We have way too much energy right now. I'm gonna play this because of the Haunted, and I don't want that stone to go off anyways. You are my priority target right now. I do want to purge 2 cards if possible before I play their quickness. Did we already play an attack against them? We did not. That one isn't swift. So ideally, I am gonna kill the leftmost Starcaller this turn. That is, if I can find a Cold Blood. There we go. Boom. Blow them up. Only defense is charge block, so might as well play it. Do want to play the natural 20 this turn. I think I'm gonna purge the Scatter Shot and the Further Throat. So I can play Blade Storm and then set up some new Combo. Next target is the rightmost Starcaller, especially considering they just buffed themselves up to 15. That will be the kill. And let's also use this to set up the stew. And then I think we just let them die of bleed. So we can get the cooldown ready for the next fight. There we go. And the next fight will be against the Puppet Master. Well, we need to change our deck a little because we no longer need these AoE cards. We instead bring a For the Throat and another 1000 cuts. This is probably also the fight where I'll bring the Crippling Potion. Rage. Rage does not matter at all for us. But there's like nothing wrong in using it anyways. Just gonna pre-apply the weakness for the entire fight so we can regen our cripple. Definitely purge the bleed it down and then double for the throat. We already have 6 vulnerable on them. Guess we should probably play the sustenance. Twice. My goal is to get a kill as soon as we draw back into these Cold Bloods. From Shadow first. Discard the other one so we can backpack afterwards. Didn't draw into an attack, but that's okay, we just purge. Backpack. Let's set up the cauldron again. Thousand cut and sustenance, and then we start triggering bleed. Oh, I just ruined my combo. Oops. Let's hope we draw into a quickness then. At least he's not attacking this turn. Should be fine. Yeah, we don't even need combo at this rate. We might need a finisher though. There we go. And onwards against the Void. Against the Void I might just as well bring Backstab because the extra stack of weakness don't really matter. And it's time to also throw in the draw potion. I think other than that, there's nothing I want to change. Let's go. Against the void. Set up as much bleed as possible. Seven energy this turn. Quickness. Maybe the From Shadow here. Yeah, that's actually a good draw. It's good damage. I should play it. Start out with a backpack. Drawing the other one is really not that bad. The bleeded out should now be played instead of purged whenever we can. This is the cheapest block. Gives me an overcharge as well. Yeah, that's just a good chunk of damage. Weaken them for this turn. There's a quickness left in the deck. I think I am gonna go for the throat here. Sustenance and then purge these three to get maximum energy for the next turn, where we are gonna go off. Go ham on that void. With a quick... Oh, I should have played the go for the throat first. Doesn't really matter. It's overcharge. And the void will bleed out. There we go. That was a pretty quick void fight. Yeah, that deck became really strong. I really like the Cold Bloods with combo. They just presented us with the opportunity to suddenly turn our bleed into a huge amount of instant damage. That was pretty cool. Honestly, From Shadow is just a great card. Bleed It Out is also pretty awesome. Quickness is also oftentimes run defining for me. Just such a good way to generate combo. They have done a lot of work this time around. Let's master them. Master a quickness. Okay. So that's another impossible win in the books. Yeah, I think we're doing pretty well. Excited to play with the Cold Blood now? Yeah, I can imagine. The fact that it's Swift is really cool. Compendium. There are not... I think it's the only bleed trigger that's Swift. Yeah, it seems like. Trigger all bleed. Bleed it out isn't swift. The Crimson Slaughter isn't swift. Yeah, the In Cold Blood is the only swift bleed trigger. Oh, deep cuts increase target's bleed by 50%. There are quite a few rare cards I have never seen before. Trigger target's bleed, purge apply bleed 2 to all. Isn't that just the same as bleed it out? Triggered. Oh no, bleed it out expels. Right, that's the difference. And Crimson Slaughter triggers all bleed. There are quite a few very similar cards here. With the In Cold Blood, Crimson Slaughter, but the details on them do make a difference. When an enemy takes damage, apply bleed 1, gain a volatile hit blade. It's also pretty awesome.